Meeting called to order. Roll call, please.
President Tannhauser?
Here.
Clerk? Trustee Kucharski?
Here.
Trustee Ronstadt?
Here.
Trustee Larson?
Here.
Trustee Belak?
Here.
Trustee Gregorio?
Here.
Trustee Gelsomino?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The President is to direct the clerk to read aloud the notice of published in the Pioneer Press, Norridge and Howard Heights News, October 31st, 2019, regarding the truth and taxation public hearing to be held on Wednesday, November 13th, 2019, at 6 p.m. in regard to the proposed tax levy to fund the village share of the pension fund for the fiscal year of May 1st, 2019 to April 30th, 2020. Clerk Budnick.
Notice the proposed property tax increase for the Village of Norridge. A public hearing to approve a proposed property tax levy increase for the Village of Norridge for 2019 will be held on Wednesday, November 13th, 2019 at 6 p.m. at the Norridge Village Hall, 4000 North Alcott Avenue. Any person desiring to appear at the public hearing and present testimony to the taxing district may contact Deborah J. Budnick, Village Clerk, Village of Norridge, 4000 North Alcott Avenue, Norridge, Illinois, 60706, 708-453-0800. The corporate and special purpose property taxes extended or abated for 2018 were $1,600,000. The proposed corporate and special purpose property taxes to be levied for 2019 are $2,117,467. This represents a 32.34% increase over the previous year. Property taxes extended for debt service and public building commission leases for 2018 were zero. The estimated property taxes to be levied for debt service and public building commission leases for 2019 are zero. This represents a 0% increase over the previous year. Total property taxes extended or abated for 2018 were $1,600,000. The estimated total property taxes to be levied for 2019 are $2,117,467. This represents a 32.34% over the previous year. This was published on the 31st day of October 2019 in the Norridge and Howard Heights News.
Thank you, Clerk Budnick. At this time, I'd like to introduce the Pension Board. We have Michelle Maher, the Vice President. Secretary Paul Maliki, and Assistant Secretary Matt Caduto. Next, I'd like to introduce Lauterbach and Amon, who will be doing a presentation and explanation of the proposed tax levy, Kevin Kavanaugh, and Bob Reitz. You guys want to do your presentation? Right?
Absolutely, yeah. So thanks for having us here this evening. I'm just going to give a brief explanation of some of the factors that led to the increase in the recommended contribution this year for the police pension fund from the Village of Norridge. So as it was outlined in that memo that was just read, this year's recommended contribution to the police pension fund and what is the amount that the village will be levying for is $2,117,467. A few comments about that. Basically, every year when we develop a recommended contribution, it's broken down into two components. One of those components is for the benefit accrual for all of the active police officers. So essentially, they're accruing an additional year of service. Their salary is increasing, so they're earning more in pension benefits each year. So that's referred to as the normal cost. So that breaks down to about 20% of this year's recommended contribution. The other piece of this year's recommended contribution is a payment towards the unfunded liability that exists within the pension fund. So the total unfunded liabilities as of April 30, 2018 is about $21.7 million. And so that unfunded liability under our recommendation is being funded 100% by the year 2036, or essentially 17 years from now. And so that's the other 80% of this year's recommended contribution is that payment towards unfunded liability that exists. In terms of a couple other metrics for the pension fund, the funded percentage of the police pension fund as of April 30, 2018 was about 55.7%. This year has increased just about 0.5% to 56.05%. So it's nice to see that the funded percentage is increasing in the right direction. The payments towards unfunded liability do exceed interest growth on that unfunded liability every year, meaning that when the village makes these full recommended contributions, the $2.1 million, that is truly eliminating unfunded liability on a going forward basis. So we would expect over time that as we approach that 100% funding 17 years from now, that unfunded liability will slowly decrease over time. That's really the main comments that I wanted to make at this point. Open it up to any questions from the village board, or if anybody from the audience has any questions about this year's recommended contribution for the police pension fund.
Okay, there's some questions. At this time, we'll open up the hearing for public testimony, public comment, questions, or suggestions. If not, I need a motion. There being further no business for the Truth and Taxation public hearing to be adjourned.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion by trustee Gelsomino, second by trustee Larson. Roll call. 6-0, motion carries.